Hello everybody, welcome back. We are in a completely different location, out in a secret area of space. This is Cadet T10 Day 1, you remember him. From earlier in our channel's history, we used this character to showcase how the T10 jump affects a brand new character, what you get from it, and how to get started. Since then, I have been working with this character, in the background, just kind of grinding away at Concord passes and buying like a year and almost 2 years worth of Omega Duo. And then I used some of the income from my main character plus this character in order to afford a Nagalfar that you see here. The Nagalfar you see here is pretty basic. It is just a standard Nagalfar. I will not be showing you the live stats of this ship, just because it is nullsec, and this information can be a lot more secretive nowadays. But if you know anything about me, it is going to be much tankier than it will be DPS heavy. We're going with the barreled high slots here today, and the anti-ship versatile weapon. We also have the versatile version of it, so we can run that as well. I am full up on fuel, but that is all I am allowed to show you right now. Just understand that it is a tank fit and not a DPS fit. You'll see my modules in the bottom right. I'm not going to hide that from you, but I will be hiding my rigs. Alright, so like I said, we are in a very secretive location in space. We are out in nullsec, I will give you that. So we're gonna have fun with our PvE out here today. Yep, I went with red. It is nice. Yeah, it's in Secret Gina. Gina 2. Electric Boogaloo. Alright, I do have Jinner here with me today.
Undocking.
He is kind of standing guard. I am also part of a standing fleet, so that way if anything happened, I can very quickly get a response from people. Alright, we have a lot of smalls and larges and mediums that we'll be running today. We'll start with a small. And we should have everything blocked off. So that should be good. I don't feel like using my micro-warp drive to make this jump, by the way. When you are in space in nullsec, always make sure that your passive tank is running. That way you are not getting caught off guard. There are people out here who like to pop in after logging out for long periods of time and try to trap someone doing that.
Warp drive
So
active.
always make sure your passive tank is active while flying around. It'll give you the best chance to catch yourself from dying. Hey Azim, how you doing today? Bet you didn't expect this today. like I said, we'll be doing smalls, mediums, and larges today. And just having fun with it.
We're under attack.
Let me know if you want a little bit, yep, it is a standard Nagalfar. We are pretty heavily reliant on the hail anti-ship close-in defense gun, to clear things out.
Enemy ships detected.
But our main guns do fine enough as well.
We're under attack.
The reason I like the hail anti-ship is because it has longer ranges for some of these further spawns. I do only have 4-4 in most of my skills. You can see here, capital ship upgrade and operation are only 4-4. Special weapons are working on 5 here, I'm at 4 there, so I have to kind of heavily rely on that extra range in tracking. The versatile is nice, but it needs a little bit more skilling into to make it worth using in PvE.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
With the hail anti-ship, I'm getting like a 38-kilometer range, with 28 of that being fall off. Whereas with the versatile, I was only getting like 18 or something like that, and that's just not quite enough to help deal with these battleships. Yeah, in a capital anomaly, the versatile is going to be a lot better for dealing with those fighters and drones that show up.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, so when I ever know to do capital anomalies, I will want to swap out to the versatile weapon. And then I may want to swap from the barreled autocannons to regular autocannons. I don't know if I'll get back into a Phoenix Bodyguard. I've thought about it on and off. I'm just not sure. Alright, so that was a small. Hope you enjoyed seeing that. Pretty easy. Back when I was originally entering nullsec, back when Captain Benzie had his, Captain, Frosty Jack kills a Drake. That was me in the Drake, if you don't know. I then moved out to nullsec and joined Void for probably about a month and a half at that time. And it was it was a good experience, but I was very limited in what I could do because I was only just at Tech 8 at the time. So I was using a Drake
Warp
to
drive active.
run smalls and mediums, even though mediums were a little too much DPS for a full tank Drake at the time. Back then, we did not have implants. We didn't have anything like the Tactical Defense Implant, or General Units, or the Warhead Charge Implant either. We had nothing like that. We also did not have integrations at the time. So, nowadays, a pretty well fit Tech 8 could probably knock some things around now. And these anomalies would not pose any kind of issue, other than maybe the Angel Larges could pose an issue to a few of the battle cruisers. But if you do choose to go out to nullsec in a battle cruiser, just understand you're gonna want to have a fleet around you or someone to back you up in case you get into trouble. Yeah, I saw that Angel Inquisitor, I was like, huh, maybe I should run that. But I also don't have a integrated salvager, and I do need that if I was gonna go do an Angel Inquisitor. It would be nice for a few different things. With this particular character, I want to show off as many dreads as I can get. No, I don't want to borrow years. I want this character to, kind of build up to it. This character's journey is gonna be all about what is expected of nullsec and what to expect, or what kind of grinding we can do out here. Learning some of the content that I've never done, like capital anomalies. Maybe we'll end up in PvP once in a while. That is this character's entire life right now. That's its goal, is to show off nullsec in a realistic expectation. Now, I say a realistic expectation. I do not expect anyone for their first time to come out here to nullsec with a corporation and start right out with a dread. It's just not gonna happen. Not unless you're, like, super dedicated. And even at that, it's gonna be hard just to move a dreadnought from wherever you get it to wherever you're going. It took a few hours of waiting before I could move this particular dreadnought from low-sec out to null-sec, where I'm living, just because of various gate camps and red players coming through systems and just PvP catching up. So expect it to take a while on your first time. something
Enemy ships detected.
that I'm doing here that I probably shouldn't do.
We're under
I really
attack.
should leave these guns, separated, so that way they can cycle separately and move a little bit quicker between targets. And you kind of want to spread them apart to make it a little easier on your guns. We're going to use our webs to slow down some ships and let our close-in weapons handle them. Currently I am getting buffs from my implant. It is not very high. I'm getting a 34% cannon damage increase and a 20% cannon activation time increase with a little bit of cannon tracking speed as well. Just to help out my barreled weapons. The better off you are
We're under
with
attack.
your implant here, the better it's gonna be for PvE. It will also help with PvP.
We're being warp scrambled.
One of the nice things about the artillery cover implant is that it's a passive buff to yourself, meaning that as long as you have this going, it will only consume one charge of the neural. I can't even remember what it's called. It's the blue juice. But it can stay active for as long as you have it. And it provides those buffs to you. It is such a nice thing to have. You know what I'm talking about. The blue juice. What the hell is that called? Yeah, it's nice to have a dread. I would really like to take this character, scale it into every dreadnought that I can, and be able to show off each dreadnought running these anomalies and encounters and stuff like that. I think that is probably the best use of this particular character at this point. Neuroactive supplements. Thank you, the blue juice.
Enemy ships detected.
You can see that this,
We're under attack.
isn't a very difficult thing for dreads to clear. Something you're not seeing in the background right now is me keeping an eye on my corporation channels on Discord, just making sure that everything's okay for now, that there's not been any major movements or players to watch out for. This is all things that you have to do as a nullsec player. It is significantly more stressful than you would ever have in highsec.
We're being warp scrambled.
I need to upgrade to a Predator web of fire. Just so I can get that 15-kilometer range. I do apologize for hiding a lot of the information on screen. It is required by my alliance in order to protect themselves. If it was up to me, I would just have it open and risk the PvP, because that makes good content. But I understand it, so I'm gonna follow those rules and abide by them so I can bring you null set content. I've been looking forward to having a character out here, and the T10 Day 1 character was the perfect opportunity. We already have some really good skills, and we can take a good portion of those skills and dump them into dreadnoughts, which is what I've done. On medium anomalies, we will have 6 waves, and the 6th wave will spawn, ore ships,
Enemy
so you'll
ships
see that here.
detected.
So we have 2
We're
humpbacks,
under attack.
a Nereus, and a Imicus? High mobility?
We're under attack.
These are actually worth quite a bit of, ISK in their drops. Unfortunately, like I said, I do not have very good skills for auto-salvagers. Actually, I don't think I have any skills for auto-salvagers right now. And so getting this loot is kinda gonna be difficult for me to do. I would like in the future to get my hands on a Naria? No, it's not a Nereus. What the hell is it called? Ships. Industrial ships. Where is it? The Noctis. I would like to get my hands on a Noctis or a Noctis 2, but it is going to take some skilling into. Alright. Hey, Corpy, how you doing today? Alright, let's go ahead and move on to a launch, so you get to see what a launch looks like early on. One of the nice things about Dreadnoughts is, because they have 0 mobility after exiting their siege mode,
Warp drive active.
you can use the micro warp drive to quickly move to your warp speed and allow yourself to warp to the next anomaly or to whatever your safe spot is very quickly. It is something that is necessary for you to know how to do. For most ships, you're okay to do it without that, but anything battleship and larger should really consider knowing how to use that feature of this game. God, I fucking love flying and killing anomalies. I have missed this greatly.
We're under attack.
Something else about dreadnoughts that you don't really think about, and I never got to cover with the Phoenix bodyguards. When you enter siege, you're going to maintain your speed when you enter siege. So for right now, I'm drifting at 50 meters a second because I entered my siege while moving. Siege increases your, what was it? Mass by 900%. And that forces your ship to kind of, continue to drift for a long period of time. And I do love looking at dreadnoughts, especially when they're entering and leaving siege. The animations that they have are just so cool. You'll notice here, I was talking about the implant earlier being kind of like a passive effect as long as it's active. It will not deactivate when you warp, which is a huge benefit to saving you on those neuroactive supplements. But it does turn off if you enter a station or go through a gate. Something else to consider. We should always have our safe or our home location saved. And have it set as a autopilot. That way you can quickly hit just 2 buttons or 3 buttons and get home without having to try to find it in a list of different places. Let's see what we've got so far. I hope this doesn't show anything.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Right now, I'm not very happy with my tank, because it is a very basic setup for me. I will eventually be investing in possibly another Dreadnought or another Nagalfar or something, and I want to make, I want to make one that's, like, extraordinarily tanky, so I don't have to worry nearly as much about somebody coming in and trying to mess with me. But until then, I'll just be upgrading this one along the way. This doesn't show any information, right? Yeah, it doesn't. Thank God. Alright, you can see our first bounty here was 25 million. Hey, RKS, how you doing today? And then we got an additional 5 million from the corporation bounty. So already made 30 million. Hey, that's okay. If you like RKS, that's awesome. How you doing today? Yeah, I had a pretty good time getting out here and being safe. Lots of resources out here that I can utilize, and seems like the corporation and alliance is fairly well organized as well. So I'm pretty happy. I think there's a few things that could be improved a little bit. Coming from my experience with Adam previously. But I'm sure those things are already being worked on.
We're under attack.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the web on that guy, just to give my anti-ship a little bit easier time dealing with him. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What do you fly? I like to get to know everybody who comes to stream. Gives me an idea of who I'm working with and what they're interested in. Hey, Snoopy, good to see you today. Welcome. Surprise! Another capital ship. How many capital ships have I owned over the last year? since I started my channel, you have seen me fly 3 Cyans, 2 Shanghais, 3 Phoenix Bodyguards, an Aeon, and a Nagalfar. My god. Nice, I like the Pasago. It's such a cool looking ship. It's one of the few Minmatar ships that I actually really like. Nagalfar just looks like a number 2 pencil. I should really have painted it yellow.
Enemy ships.
Yep, for now there's only us. Although I do believe there's quite a few people around us as well.
We're under attack.
In other systems.
We're under attack.
Yeah, if you want to stop by, I don't care. So long as Jinner knows as well. I can't remember, are we in the same alliance? Now. Yes or no? No? Okay. Alright, that's going pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this clear time. For not being fully skilled into this thing, and not having a very well upgraded implant, I am very happy with its performance right now. I mean, right now we're sitting at about a 5-second activation time on the barreled autocannons. Alright. Let's go ahead and get to our next one here. Gonna go back to a medium. Yeah,
Warp drive.
just come in and loot all these wrecks that I have going on. If you haven't seen the animation on the Nagalfar, I believe something happens up here at the top, and then I also believe that the guns here will move around. There's also something else that's supposed to move, I think.
We're under attack.
Hmm. Oh my god. The music is going insane. Thank you for the follow, Primal. I appreciate it. I happened to catch that out the corner of my eye as we were warping. Thank you for the follow, RKS. I really appreciate it. So far I've had one bounty tick. It was 25 million, plus another 5 million from the corporation structure. I believe I have... Oh, I thought I did have. Huh. Good to know. I thought I did have. Okay, let me just create another one here. Copy. Paste. Yep, there we go. That should solve that issue. Yeah, I thought I had that. Oh well. That's okay. It's not the worst part that they know what corp or alliance I'm in.
Enemy ships detected.
They still would have to figure out
We're under
what
attack.
location. No, I have never done a special fleet before. I'm also not very skilled into this ship, so we're gonna wait on these special fleets for a while. Wow. That's cool. Jitter would never notice your hurricane.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yep, we are doing our Concord missions and our missions for the event pass with everything set to bounty tick. Yeah, that's cool. One day I want to do all of that kind of stuff, but it's gonna take a while. I do need to make sure I have this set correctly, because I don't remember if I did that. Bounty, bounty. Yes, I do have that. Alright, cool. We are good. nice. Got a couple million out of that.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, maybe I'll have a chance of spawning something. I know I've got an Inquisitor in here that I can run. I don't have any way to loot anything, so that's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna go float around in a Nagalfar. It'll be a lot better if someone else was to gather that stuff behind me. I actually really like doing Inquisitors. And I should do it because I need to level up my faction warfare stuff. It'll also be a good way for this particular character to make some money. They've only been around for a little bit for this character. God dang, I really like this implant. I tell you what, I really like this implant.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
We're about 4,400 DPS. Not very good right now. I still need one more level for the Nagalfar itself. I'll get another level out of this here. But we're mostly a tank fit. Yeah, I'm using the close-in weapon system right now in order to clear out all the small stuff, and then it can assist me with the larger stuff when I get there. The longer it stays on a target without killing it, the more DPS and tracking it will ramp up. So it's highly important that I take care of that and keep an eye on that. So if I was to show you the DPS now, we're at 1440. And then I think we just killed something, so now we're back down to 790 on it. And every cycle it ramps up a little bit further. You know, it is so quiet out here compared to where I used to be in Null. Holy heck. This is like silent. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Silent as the night? I'm sure there's some kind of southern slang. But where I used to be in nullsec, I used to see a neutral every like 15 minutes, and there was like one red an hour that would come through. It was super annoying. This is so much better. Such a difference. And I feel really good about this location, because of how complicated it is to actually find it. It's not necessarily hard to find it on a map, but getting here is the hard part.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Alright, we're getting some pretty good loot here. I particularly like these two. The rest of it I couldn't really care about. I'll probably end up reprocessing it and doing like a court buyback if it's available. Or I'll sit on the materials until somebody needs it. Okay, that was almost perfect timing. Oh ho ho! Capital ship fleet! Alright, there's now an Angel capital ship fleet here. Jitter, would you mind sharing that to wherever it needs to go? Yeah, I really like the new faction warfare stuff. It may not be the best content, but it does get more people to move around in low-sec and null-sec, rather than staying stale. I think it was a really good choice.
We're under attack.
Yeah, the Star Melody doing 36,000... Is it 36 or 32? I thought it was 32. I don't know. Per tick is super incredible. I hope that the next Interstellar Bazaar will give me a chance to get a Star Melody nanocore for this character. Otherwise, maybe like a Starbreak nanocore would be super incredible to have. I don't think I care so much about many other cores. Maybe the sleeper core would be okay. But I think Starbreak is way better than the sleeper core. Wow, 36k on the super. Dang. my primary nanocore would probably be a Star Melody. But I would be very happy with a Starbreak nanocore.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Get some stuff off the screen so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, interesting. Maybe you just have the wrong,
Ships detected.
cruisers? Maybe you would be better off with a turret cruiser rather than a missile cruiser?
We're under attack.
You might want to check into that. I don't know what your super ends up having bonuses to, whether it's turrets or missiles. Okay, all turrets. What was the benefit of the cruisers? Do you remember?
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Give me a moment, I'm gonna hide the screen while I check this message. Okay, sounds like we might have to talk up. I think we should be okay though. I have had probably 2 bounty ticks. I'll have to check. I know one for sure was 30 million. It was 25 million plus 5 million court. But we have been going like small, medium, large, medium. So we're just kind of jumping around a little bit much right now. I'm not really going for the most efficient bounty ticks right now. That'll be really cool if we get 30%. Okay, so our first bounty tick was like 30 million total. Our second bounty tick here was 37 million, 38 million. So that's pretty good. We're keeping an eye on the situation a few jumps away. It seems like there's a few reds hanging around. We probably need to really keep an eye on that. Okay, that should be another bounty tick coming through. Let's see what we got there. So that was a 28.9 million with 5.7 million from the corporation structure. Very nice. Already, this character is putting out the same kind of low-end bounty ticks as, like, an early Cyan. Without having the limitation of having to get to labs.
Enemy ships detected.
One of the biggest and most important benefits of nullsec is that you're not limited on the amount of anomalies you can clear. It's limited on how long you can run. So, say somebody comes in and now you have to dock, it'll slow down your progress. Then there's also things like waiting on the anomalies to refresh or respawn. That's not normally a problem unless you're really hyper DPS. But you really can just keep going out here. You can do the equivalent. Each one of these medium and anomalies out here is worth 19 million as a bounty tick. So if I go ahead and do a bunch of mediums, that's like doing a bunch of 4 million-ish labs, just in a row, back to back to back. The larges are probably closer to... The larges are probably closer to like a 5 million-ish lab, where it's like 27 million as a bounty, or 25 million as a bounty. And you can still do those fairly often, but it does require you to clear out small encounters.
We're under attack.
In order to spawn those larges. So always, if you are out here in nullsec, make sure you finish your anomaly. Do not just leave like a few out here. Finish it as best you can. If you have to dock because of like an enemy player, make sure you return to that anomaly and kill it off
Enemy
as
ships
well.
detected.
It's just good practice. It's good
We're
business.
under attack.
It's good manners. It also helps your corporation in system, because as you clear these things out, you have a chance of spawning some of these like special fleets and Inquisitor anomalies, I believe. I believe mostly the Inquisitors are the ones that you're focused on so heavily for trying to spawn, but I do believe it also affects the capital fleets as well, if I'm not wrong.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Okay. Wow, that would be pretty cool to be able to show off one day. And another thing to note out here, do not ever attack the base. That is considered griefing, and you will be hunted until your last days in Eve. People take that
Enemy
very
ships
seriously.
detected.
It has been sort of a mutual agreement across all corporations and alliances that you do not attack another base. Even during wartime, that would be considered griefing, and in some cases is a bannable offense, which I find kind of weird. But it's there. something nice about this very, very specific system that we're in right now, that I may or may not want to point out, but everything is pretty close to each other. And it is really nice to be able to just move in very short spans between locations, which saves you time and makes you a better bounty tick.
Warp
We
drive
talked
active.
about that a little bit in Clarelem when we run out there, how everything is so far away in Clarelem, it actually wastes a lot of bounty tick time. Yeah, the Visago is like the #1 ratting ship right now. It used to be the
We're
Nidhogger
under attack.
before the versatile assault carriers, the tactical carriers came out. But the Nidhogger and the Visago have been very important in anomaly running. Although, this is super cool with the close-in weapon.
Enemy ships detected.
It feels so good now for a Dread to go ratting. It used to be god-awful.
We're under attack.
Now you can be pretty much a PvP fit with your Dreadnought and still make decent bounty ticks. It is really nice. It is... I think that is probably the best change that I've seen in a long time. Adding Seaways to all of the Dreadnoughts, it is so good.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
And I really do think they could take that system, and like, enhance it or work upon it. And they could take the idea of the bodyguards, they could make like an air defense guardian or something like that, get rid of access to high slot weapons, but you would get like 2 or 3 of these Seawiz and have bonuses to that.
We're under attack.
I think that would be a super interesting addition to the game if they were ever to do something like that. Make like an anti-air dreadnought or an anti-air carrier or something like that. Yeah, assault carrier really nuke the Marzio.
Warp drive active.
Honestly, having like a dread against a Marzio isn't that bad either. Because of the Sea Whiz ramping up damage. And you can get quite a few points of weapon fire on them to slow them way down. I'm gonna try to clear out as many of these small anomalies as possible right now.
We're under attack.
Yeah. I think a lot of dreads are not set up to handle battleship level DPS like on a Marzio, especially if they're like all speed and all damage. But it shouldn't be a problem if your dreadnought is fully tanked out.
Enemy ships detected.
You probably won't be able to kill the Marzio, but you would hold on more than long enough for a response fleet. And then having a anti-ship also helps against a Marzio, because it's going to be a lot higher DPS to try to help deal with them. I don't know what... It has a really weird sound in the background.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, I do like the 45 artillery cover, but, artillery cover, because it gets that, secondary attribute where it'll fire at everything around it, and if you're in a PvP situation against one ship, it will always target that one ship. Makes it really nice to deal with it. Yeah, I really need to get my hands on a Predator weapon fire.
Enemy ships detected.
Last wave?
We're under attack.
Yeah, I'll probably do the Inquisitor in a bit. There's two of them now. Hey, Jinner, do you want to gather some loot for me? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run those Inquisitors, I think. There's, I'm pretty sure there's no... like, cyan or anything that spawns in those. Just the elite ships, right? Alright. Shouldn't be a problem.
Warp drive active.
Alright, we're now heading toward an advanced Angel Inquisitor. This is one of the few special sites that are out here in Nullsec. Typically these have a ton of elite ships and really fast ships. So we're gonna definitely see the close-in defense gun struggle a little bit here. But we're also gonna see some pretty good loot out of it. Especially compared to like high-sec Inquisitors, this will be a lot better.
Warp drive active.
Hey, Corlith. Welcome to system. I forgot that they changed Inquisitors to not have multiple gates now. God dang, I'm old.
We're being warp scrambled.
They got a bounty tick there. It wasn't much because we were doing a lot of smalls. You can see that our tank and our capacitor hold just fine. The capacitor batteries are giving us a pretty reasonable amount of capacitor warfare resistance. The only thing that's really dangerous for us here is the disruptors. And only because it locks us down and we can't escape. Yeah, they're doing a little bit of damage to the tank. I had to use one pulse of my shield booster. did I just witness spawn? So there are 3 waves to this. Not that bad though. I think on the 3rd wave we might see a little bit of trouble with our tank, but we just use the cat batteries and the shield booster, and we'll be fine. Yeah, we're doing alright for, clear. I think we just kinda have to wait for the interrupted grappler to get its maximum velocity reduction, and then we really started flying pretty good. You can see that Angel Cinnaball is now quite a bit slower than he was. The trouble we could run into is neutralizers for our capacitor. We can also run into just a lot of DPS. I'm not very confident in the current tank of this Nagalfar. And so we shall see what it does, or how it handles some of the harder content in the game.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Okay, now we've got this Sea-Wiz on the right targets. Yep, this is the 2nd wave. We're gonna use our booster here as I kind of scramble for the right items. We can use our capacitor batteries to nullify the amount of capacitor we're using out of our modules and allow our capacitor to recharge a little bit. Second wave is going pretty good. I do need to check which one is spamming me. Okay, it's that Dramiel. He's about to die anyway. So we had 137 tracking by the time he died. Man, I love Sea Waves. Okay. I'll keep an eye on the materials for the next wave. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I am not necessarily equipped for range. The most range that this would have would be like 90-something kilometers on these barreled autocannons at maximum fall-off. Like, almost no damage or whatever. That's crazy that they go so far out. You can see just how slow that Angel Sergeant is now. And we're slowly getting our damage and tracking on him. Okay, wave 2 is done. We are on wave 3.
Ships detected. We're under attack.
Alright, here comes one of the more fun waves. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not really built for those materials. They are fairly tanky though. It looks like he's trying to get a little bit closer now. Yeah. Yeah, some of them would go way out of my range. But that's okay. It's a lot. I will tell you, my shield rep is a lot. We'll slowly chip down. As soon as we start getting through that Angel Captain's shield, we really shouldn't have that much of a problem with his armor and his hull. We just gotta get through that shield slowly. Shield extenders are a little annoying. But tank held up fine. That's pretty good. I would say that maybe wave 5 is actually a problem for this ship. I don't know. There's no micro warp drive, so theoretically I could turn off my I could turn this off and go chase him now that he's like super slow. God, chipping away at this angel captain is so annoying. There we go. So now that we've gotten through his shield, we'll see a lot better clear time on him. Yeah, I've never done an overseer, so that'll be interesting when I go to do one eventually. Alright, that was our bounty tick for the first, I guess, 2.5 waves of this. Pretty good income so far. It's reliable income compared to trying to rely on labs. Yeah, as I get better skills, things will get a lot better. Give me just a minute. Okay, I'm back. My god, the music is going just nuts. This typhoon is not a problem at all. Yep, I did kill the material. So we got some nice points for that. next wave there might be 2 captains, right?
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Okay, cool. The closer this material gets to me, the way worse it gets for him. The tank seems fairly reasonable so far. I'm not having to worry about capacitor. And I'm also not having to worry so much about my tracking right now. I think I'm pretty happy with the fit, but it could be a lot better. And I want it to be a lot better. I don't know about if everyone gets the points for the kill, unless they are all shooting at it. If they are all shooting at it, I think it does. It only goes to the killing blow. Darn. Okay, well that's alright. No. I had you selected on that. Yeah. Alright, so that captain is dead now. I think these are
Warning,
probably...
capacitor running low.
But don't mind me, I left my shield booster running. I'm going to use the capacitor battery to try to save our capacitor. I think after we clear this, Inquisitor, we'll call it a day. Like I said, I'm going to use these capacitor batteries to try to regain my capacitor. You know you guys can always get another dread. You might have to reskill into everything, but you'll get there again. But I'm glad there's just people like me that you can sit down and watch and remember good times. when you had any of these ships. Yeah, like a Concord or Young Jung for you, Jinner. We're at 31% capacitor, 32% now. So we're recharging pretty good. Oh man. I do love having a ship that is so comfortably tanky. And dreads are just so perfect for that. No! 800 DPS on your Wang Yu prototype? No! You know we're probably getting the actual Wang Yu pretty soon. Alright, we're almost back up to 40% capacitor. Honestly, I think Wave 3 was harder than Wave 4 right now. I really do think that Wave 3 was a lot harder than Wave 4. Yeah, I'm trying to save up enough to buy a year of the Omega Duo on my main account, and then also use all of the Plex that I get for Omega Duo to try to max out as much as possible from that. Alright, we're doing pretty good on our capacitor now. I'd like it to be a little bit higher. I think we're gonna have Jinner come in for the last wave, because we are on a little bit of a time crunch. Once Jinner goes, I kind of lose my eyes.
Ships detected.
And I need to be careful of that.
Attack. We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, he's trying to run away here. He's one of the ones that runs really far. I believe I've got Jinner in here now. Yep, you can see the cyan back behind me.
We're under attack.
He's gonna take out that captain, I believe.
We're under attack.
Encore to the rescue.
We're under attack.
So as we're wrapping this up, tomorrow I will be doing a World of Tanks stream. I will be playing the new 2.0. We're going to check out what a new player gets versus what a returning player gets, and we're going to play a lot of the new content. It'll be a lot of fun. Should be a good long stream. Because I can play World of Tanks for a long time.
We're under attack.
If any of you have never played World of Tanks, tomorrow will be the best time to sign up and get playing. New players that sign up tomorrow for World of Tanks on PC will be getting 2 tech tree lines from Tech 6 to Tech 10 for free, fully upgraded. You will also be receiving
We're under attack.
4 premium tanks, 2 rental premiums, and 2 tier 9 rental premiums. They have never given such good gifts before, and you should absolutely consider signing up and retrieving those gifts if you were always on the fence of updating or downloading World of Tanks and playing it on PC. It's the best time to do it, and a whole lot has gone on into the game to make it so much better than what it was. Alright, so that was our Inquisitor anomaly for nullsec. I am going to sit here for a moment, give some protection for Jinner as we wait. This is what we've gotten today. I got a Republic Fleet small micro warp drive and a couple of scanners. I mean, you can try, but let me move something here. I won't get blown up if I go to our base, right? After getting the prime timer. Alright. Just let me know when you're done gathering everything. And we'll head back. Gonna go ahead and turn off my artillery cover implant. Alright, let's go ahead and
Autopilot engaged.
get that done. I'm gonna turn my screen away from the location that we're docking
Warp
at.
drive active.
Yeah, it still says. I still need to block that off. Oh well. Oh, well. I guess it's not the worst thing, it's just a name. Only a few people will know that name, I would assume. We'll get there in the end. Alright, I'm gonna block my screen real quick.
Destination reached.
Yep, I can't wait to see what we got. Gonna check the messages we got. Just waiting on the income to come in. Yep, you get station blank. Okay, gotta check messages again. Alright. Have a good day, Jenner, and thank you all so much for joining me today. Real quick, let me check my contracts. I don't believe they're coming through yet. Oh well. And let's grab our loot. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I'm gonna be doing this a lot more often with this character. And hopefully we can get some really good stuff out of it. Okay, we now have level 15 on our... Oh, that's such a hard choice. Yeah, I'm always gonna be looking at Discord. I may not wave or anything, but, plenty of time to say hey and reach out to me if you want. Man, tracking speed is nice, but having that accuracy fall off for those really far range materials could be really nice as well. Maybe what I do is I swap between them as needed. I use the tracking when I'm running on normal anomalies, and I'll use the accuracy fall off for when I go to do the harder stuff. Just so I can catch those longer range ships. Alright, so we're gonna start with the tracking. I think that'll be the best way to handle that. I need some GUs, so this will be uploaded to YouTube. If you have any suggestions on which GUs I should go with, let me know, and I will consider it. Thank you all so much for having me today, and thank you to my corporation and alliance for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I really can't thank you guys enough. Not only my corporation alliance, but also my viewers. I really cannot thank you enough. I would not be doing any of this without you guys. Yeah, I really thank you. All I can say is thank you. I will see you tomorrow for World of Tanks. Take care and be safe.